Alright, so I want to make this video about. So I was watching this documentary, and I already knew that, like, the pharmaceutical company created heroin, the Bear Company, the same company that created aspirin, is the same company that created heroin. And it's just. If these people that created these drugs actually use these drugs, these people, we would have a safer, uh, just, we'd have safer drugs out there in the world. It's like what I do with my life, and what a lot of, I guess you can say, psychonauts do, is psychonauts explore the mind. They use substances to explore the mind. And exploring the mind means many different things. Psychedelics tend to take it deeper, but even herbs and different things, you can explore consciousness with different molecules. So I just made an extract. I guess I can, like, I don't know if you fucking, you can't fucking, you can't even, you still can't really see it. You can kind of see it on that. But, like, made this extract, and, like, so it has clipdaga, flower tops, um, motherwort, flower tops, and a little bit of cannabis. And I put it on some cannabis and put it in the bong and smoked it. And it, like, this is what I tend to do. Like, over the summer I made an extract, and once I get some more, I'm going to make the same extract. But I make an extract with lotus flower, and I've been able to make isolates, basically isolating certain parts of the plant, making extracts with only certain parts of the plant. And by doing that, you can get different effects out of the extracts because the each different extract would contain different molecules. And it's like if you make a tea, like if you make a water extract and an alcohol extract, they're going to contain different molecules. And if you mix them together, it should feel like basically the whole plant again. And it's like because it's the all the molecules. But if isolates are interesting because I've been able to figure out which extract can be stronger, which can be uh, just some are just different. And the obviously the oil or alcohol extracts are easily smoked because they're easily smoked. But you can put these waxes, I guess you can say, in capsules and ingest them, and it should work too. But I feel like you would need a lot more because anytime you ingest something, you need a lot more of the product. But I don't know. I was just sitting here thinking how if the pharmaceutical companies would actually just use the drugs, they would actually understand what the drugs do. Because they thought they marketed heroin. When they put out heroin, it was legal, right? So when they created heroin, it was legal. They marketed heroin as a non-addictive version of morphine, right? And that's fucking ridiculous to somebody like me, right? It's ridiculous because I didn't learn that these things were addictive from somebody telling me. I learned that they were addictive by even just trying kratom, right? I was on kratom. I used to take kratom from 2016 up until just this past October. October 16th was the last time I took kratom. And it's like, so the kratom attaches to the opioid receptors, and because kratom attaches to the opioid receptors, just like it doesn't attach in the same exact way that morphine and heroin and fentanyl does, but all of them, heroin, morphine, fentanyl, codeine, kratom, which contains mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine, uh, all of them are opioids. some of them are opiates, but all of them are opioids, and they all attach to the opioid receptors in some type of way. Any molecule that attaches to the mu opioid receptor will be addictive in a similar way. It will cause a physical addiction. And for me, it's a it's a personal experience thing because I've taken Mitragynine hirsuta, Mitragynine javanica, and Mitragynine speciosa, which is kratom. And I've taken like 3 Mitragynine plants, and all 3 of them are addictive in the same way. Some less than others, but like they all have the same physical addiction. Which makes me think that, okay, so morphine, codeine, heroin, fentanyl, and any other molecule in the future that is created that attaches to the opioid receptors will be physically addictive no matter what. So it's just, to me, it's almost common sense, right? Like, you can have 2 molecules that attach to the same receptor, they're going to cause similar effects. So, of course, they should have similar side effects as well. To me, it should be a common sense thing. And it's like, to me, it's like scientists that create these drugs. The problem is most of them are not using these drugs. Most of these people are not like Alexander Shogun, right? Alexander Shogun was a rare anomaly because Alexander Shogun actually made drugs and used them on himself, tested them out, and he made a lot of molecules. But what's interesting is he had like protocols on how to do them and how to put them out. He would make a molecule, try it himself. If it was safe enough, if he felt like it was safe or there was no negative side effects, then he would give it to his wife. Him and his wife would take it together. And then if it was good, if they both thought it was good, then they would take it with a group of friends and then so forth and so on and eventually get it out. But like, I guarantee there were some molecules that he took just himself that he felt like they weren't safe enough to give to his wife. And it's like, that's the type of shit that I be on because like I've been exploring with these molecules and extracts and I've been making different extracts and things for like 2 years now, and it's just all these different plants, all these different extracts, all these different molecules, all these different teas, all these different brews. I've noticed that I've had a few bad experiences, right? I had one experience where it's like all I did was, not to be whatever, too much information, but all I did was piss out my ass and vomit for like fucking 30, 40 minutes, right? And I had to like turn around just to vomit, then piss on my ass, turn around, vomit, piss, like it was a horrible fucking time. And I thought I was gonna die. I had a horrible heart problem. Like my heart was like doing this weird thing and I had an extreme heart pain, like chest pain. But afterwards, I was like high as fucking bliss, like oh my god. But at the same time, it's like I would never repeat that experience because the negative side effects. Um, there's experiences that I've had that, you know, where they made me throw up, where I almost called 911 a few times. Just exploring with herbs and extracts, trying to figure out mixing things, the right mixtures, and if you have 2 plants that attach to the same receptors, you run into dangerous territories, and most people don't understand that, right? Most people don't even understand receptors of molecules. But that's why this is my life, right? I love the life I live because this is the life that I was meant to live. I'm an explorer, right? I am a. Some people would say I'm a psychonaut. I say I'm a modern day shaman. It doesn't really matter what you call it. I just love to explore. And I explore with DMT. I explore with, even just simply with cannabis, right? Like, I've explored with cannabis many times, right? I've dived deep with cannabis in my years, and now I just like to smoke just to, like, I don't know. I don't really smoke like I used to smoke. But that's because I also explore with other herbs and extracts. So it's like, I don't want to be high as fuck all the time because I want to feel these other extracts too. But I was just thinking that, like, I live this life. Most scientists just think the life. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Most scientists know how to make the drug, but they don't even know anything about drugs. It's weird. It's weird that they make drugs. They know what receptors they attach to. They can figure that out. But it's like their understanding of drugs is like if somebody read how to drive a car. If somebody read everything they needed to read on how to drive a car and they could explain to you everything on how to drive a car, that does not mean they actually know how to drive a car. And the problem is these scientists create these drugs in the metaphor being the car, and they don't even know how to fucking drive it because they've never driven it before. Like, some of these scientists, yeah, maybe they've done it a few times, but I feel like you should, if you created a drug, you should know whether it's addictive or not before you give it to somebody. Like, that should be a mandatory. I don't know. Like, I explored with this motherwort extract for like 6 months, right? Before I ever decided to give it to somebody. And after 6 months, I found out, yeah, it is kind of addictive in a not in a physical necessarily way, but in a psychological way. But like, because cocaine's addictive in a psychological way, and I just realized that motherwort was addictive in a psychological way as well, and a few other things are, and like that's okay if it's addictive. I just feel like it should be documented that it's addictive. For if it's not for science, it's for the next person who's gonna use it, like so they don't harm themselves. Because we need to understand the drugs that we're using, and yeah, I don't know. Just here, I've been thinking all day about this shit. Like I made a video earlier, something similar, I guess, but it was like I don't know. I've just been thinking that most scientists still don't get it, right? They still think they can find a opioid molecule that's going to be not addictive. They still think they can find a psychedelic molecule that won't cause visuals, right? Because scientists and the pharmaceutical companies would love to find a psychedelic that doesn't cause the visuals and hallucinations and the insights because they want the benefits without the spirituality. But yeah.